Today we are checking out the all-new 2024 Chevrolet Traverse, an important offering from Chevy in the growing and popular mid-size SUV segment. We've got two of the all-new Traverses here, an RS trim, and for the first time we have a Z71 available for the Traverse. We're going to be talking about the powertrain, look at the exterior, check out the interior, some of the technology, and a thorough tour of the all-new Traverse. In terms of the powertrain, all of the new Traverses will come with a brand new 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that makes an estimated 315 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. That is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and that powertrain combination is standard across the entire lineup. For the RS model here, it is available with all-wheel drive, but for the Z71, because it has to be more rugged, off-road capable, it has a twin-clutch all-wheel drive setup that can send up to 50% of the torque to the rear wheels. This has much more capability, and we'll go into some of that detail when we get up close with the Z71. With that, let's grab the other camera and let's walk around and take a look at the exterior. Let's start off by checking out the Z71 because this is the first time we've had a Z71 Traverse, and that's the exciting news. It is much more capable, has some good off-road hardware. From a styling perspective, the Traverse overall is much more aggressive, much more rugged. Look at this front fascia. There's a lot of elements that remind me of the Silverado trucks or the SUVs, the larger ones. So you have the split DRL up there with the headlamp, and this cutout right here, that kind of indent, really reminds me of other Chevy vehicles from the Colorado to the Silverado. We have the Z71 badge and the full blackout package here. So all the trim is darkened on the RS and on this Z71. As we continue down this fascia, we have some Z71 specific hardware. That is a functional skid plate. We have the red tow hooks here with some of the other red accents. And the front fascia itself has a better approach angle compared to the RS. We also have more aggressive tires. These all-terrain tires are shared with the Silverado 1500. Different wheels and a slight suspension lift give this a more aggressive stance, widen out the stance too. It definitely looks really good, way better than the previous generation Traverse in my opinion, because it has a more aggressive look to it. We have the Traverse lettering here on the side. And even look at this piece, this treatment here on the C-pillar. It's definitely cool. We can look at the taillights out back. We have the Z71 badge here, quad exhaust tips, Traverse all-wheel drive, the black bow tie. It's overall much more boxy, more aggressive. Look at that shoulder line. Definitely more of a truck-like SUV appearance than a more crossover-leaning previous generation. Now, if you look at this RS one, this comes on 22-inch wheels. That is an upgrade. And the front fascia blacked out looks nice and aggressive. You see the red RS badge there, the split DRL and headlight, and this lower fascia, definitely different from the Z71. These big blacked out 22-inch wheels. This red definitely looks quite nice, especially in the studio lighting. Have the blackout roof rails there too. Also have quad exhaust tips on the RS. Again, these two are the upper tier trim. So it goes LS, LT, then we have the Z71 and the RS. With that, that's the exterior of these two. Let's take a look at the interior. That's where some of the really cool tech, starting with this RS. We've got this really unique red trim all around this surround, continues across the interior, and look at that. That is a 17.7-inch infotainment screen. Ooh, look at a startup sequence. I love some of these startup animations. They're so cool. That's immersive. Largest in segment. When I first read the press release that this had a 17.7-inch infotainment screen, I was like, what? And they did a pretty good job integrating it where it doesn't feel like an afterthought. And if you see, the screen itself will come to the edge, so it actually echoes the shape of the surround. A lot of stuff moved into here, from the heated seat controls, your infotainment. It's all very nice and visible. And also, we actually have a headlight touch button that shows up there, which I'm happy because the Colorado, I felt like an idiot because I couldn't find how to turn the headlights on because there's no longer the switch on this side. And I was like, how do I turn the headlights on? On the Traverse, it looks like it pops up right there. And even the volume knob here is like integrated into the screen. That's pretty cool. A little power button here that turns it off. Turn it back on. Oh, no, back on, please. This red trim continues across the middle. Interior is thoroughly refreshed. Has some truck-like squared off aspects to it. And the transmission selector has moved here, column mounted stock, which frees up all this space in the middle for a wireless charging pad. We also still have physical toggles for climate control, which is nice. It's still nice to have buttons and knobs to interface with. We have the 2 cup holders here, storage, and actually underneath here, you see, it'll be easier to see when I step out of the vehicle. We have a storage cubby underneath that center console. We have Super Cruise, which you see the display here on the steering wheel and the little sensor that watches you, which means hands-free driver assistance on the freeway on a supported road. It can do lane changes. It can help with trailer assist. I really like GM Super Cruise system. Experienced it in everything from the Hummer to the Sierra Ultimate, things like that. And then here we've got RS embossed on the headrest, some nice red stitching, cool patterns here. Seats are heated, steering wheel is heated, the blacked out bow tie, little RS trim there, have some paddle shifters. It's a nicely refreshed interior, full digital cluster. Definitely that 17.7-inch screen is the highlight. And then if we look up here, we have a panoramic glass roof. Front part opens up. That makes the cabin feel nice and open. Bose sound system. Again, this is the RS, so this is the top tier trim. Definitely feels a bit sporty with all the red accents. And then here we have the second row captain's chairs. You can option this as an 8-seater, so it becomes a second row bench seat, third row bench seat, but in 7-seat configuration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Third row is folded now, but in 7-seat configuration, you have the second row captain's chairs, which also has the button for you to fold it forward for easier entry into the third row, which those seats are currently folded down. So let's go take a look around back. This will also now have the sensing tailgate where you don't have to press a button, you don't have to press your key fob, you don't have to kick your foot under the bumper anymore. You just approach the vehicle from behind and it senses the key and will automatically open a lift gate for you. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure if this pre-production model here has it because we're in a studio. So we'll just open the tailgate and show you. Third row folded down. We've got the buttons here. Pretty familiar and easy to pull them up. And when it's folded, you notice it was like fully flat load floor. Let's take a look at the Z71. So we have the more aggressive tires, also that slight suspension lift. Actually, I felt it when I was stepping in and out of the vehicle, slightly taller. Also have the red trim. And the interior, oh, that startup sequence again, that's really cool. Fairly similar. You'll see the seats have a different pattern to them. Not the fanciness of the red inserts on the RS, but we have Z71 embroidered here on the headrest. We have the panoramic glass roof, captain seats here too, and that same center console with a lot of practicality. Transmission selector moves here. Have that same red trim. Z71. Also, the Z71 will have terrain mode, which we've experienced off-road actually. Terrain mode is pretty cool. When we were driving the Colorado, some of the off-road vehicles, it has it and essentially allows you to do one pedal driving, uses the brakes on its own to control the vehicle when you're descending. A couple other things to note on the all-new 2024 Traverse. When properly equipped, it can tow up to 5,000 pounds. Also has a cool kind of tech safety feature called Buckle to Drive, where you have to put your seatbelt on before you put the vehicle to drive. I have that enabled on my Corvette. It's a nice thing, a little safety reminder. And I think one of the highlights is going to be the new Z71. Which is more rugged, more capable, has some pretty cool hardware and differentiation from the rest of the Traverse, from the suspension lift, the wider front width, also the all-wheel drive twin clutch system, terrain mode, the suspension dampers, the functional front fascia with the tow hooks and the skid plate. I think it'll expand the Traverse to a different segment who may want to go off-roading lightly or do some overlanding adventure in that way, give it a bit more capability, and it looks a bit more aggressive, especially with those unique wheels and tires. I hope you enjoyed checking out the all-new 2024 Chevy Traverse with me. These vehicles will go on sale early next year, and pricing will be announced closer to when it launches to production. It's been really awesome seeing these. They look much more rugged, much more aggressive, way more technology, capability, new powertrain. It's going to be exciting seeing these all-new 24 Traverses. Thanks for watching.